Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to write a UCAS personal statement. So I'm going to talk you through a fail-safe framework for writing your UCAS personal statement so that it gets you offers at your chosen university. So my name is Lucy Parsons. I'm an academic coach and I help students to get into their first choice of university, which I've been doing for 5 years now. I've successfully helped students to get into Oxford and Cambridge, and I myself am a former Cambridge graduate, a former teacher, and the author of the book, The 10-Step Guide to Acing Every Exam You Ever Take. So let's get started on writing your personal statement. So this slide shows my framework for how to write your amazing personal statement. So it subdivides into 3 sections. You've got the choose section, the prepare section, and the write section. And then under each of those sections, it's subdivided into 3 other sections. So for example, in the choose section, we've got choose your subject, research your courses, and finalise your choices. So I'm going to talk you through each of these 9 sections in this video so that you can see how the framework works to help you write your UCAS personal statement. So the first step is to choose your subject. So when you're thinking about this, you need to think about what you love learning about, which subjects you have a natural aptitude for, and what career you'd like to pursue. And you're really looking for where there's overlap between these 3 things to help you decide what you want to study. But the 2 most important are what you love learning about and what you're naturally good at, because these things will lead you to a career or a life that you find fulfilling and interesting and not too difficult because you're good at it and because you're interested in it. So the second section is to research your courses. So to do this, once you've decided what subject you want to study, you need to start identifying the actual courses and universities you would like to apply to. So the first step is to look at course websites. And then you can go to virtual or real life open days once you've narrowed it down from the websites. You can also email or phone the department if you've got further questions, and ask questions that are specifically designed to help you understand whether the course is taught and assessed in a way that suits you. So it's really important for you to do your research to make sure you'll be happy to study at any of your chosen options. So the third step in the framework is to finalise your choices. So once you've done all that research, you've chosen your subject and you've researched the courses available to study that subject, you need to finalise your choices. So my advice would be to pick courses across a range of grade requirements to spread your bets, okay? So just in case you don't get those top grades, you've definitely got somewhere to go. Also, make sure you've got somewhere to go no matter how well year 13 goes for you. So basically, if you don't get the grades, you've got somewhere to go. And basically, you can't write your personal statement if you don't know which courses you're tailoring it to. So it's really important to finalise your choices before you get seriously into the process of writing your personal statement. So once you've finished the finalise your choices section, you've finished the choose section of the framework. So just to remind you, we've been through the choose your subject, research your courses, and finalise your choices. So we're going to move on to prepare. So the first step in preparing your personal statement is to research your requirements. And this means that you're going to do some detailed research about what each of your courses are looking for. So the first step here is to do a really close reading of the course website. So some of them will state specific criteria for what they're looking for, but not all of them will do that. If they don't do that, can you read between the lines to pick up anything else about what they're looking for? You should also think about what they've said on open days or virtual open days. So the best way to make sure a university offers you a place is to make sure that you're giving them what they're looking for in your personal statement. And if you do that, they literally can't say no, so long as you've got the grades to back all that up. So once you know what the requirements are, we're on to the boost your application step of the framework. So when you were researching your requirements, there might have been things that you didn't have that the universities were looking for. So now it's your chance to fill in the gaps. So what haven't you done that the universities are looking for? Can you read between the lines to pick up anything else? Okay. And then there are 7 key ways you can fill in the gaps. The most important is further reading. I talk in detail about all of the 7 ways in my personal statement masterclass if you're interested to find out more. So the most important thing is to fill in the gaps so the admissions tutors can't say no to you. So finally, once you've researched your requirements and boosted your application, you're on to gathering your experiences together. So what you need to do is bring together everything you've ever done that you could write about in your personal statement. So this could be everything from personal experiences to awards you've won, the things you've done, and also the things that you've done to boost your application in the previous step. This gathering of your experiences, it's like a massive brainstorming activity, and it gives you confidence to move on in the writing process, because particularly for people who aren't that keen on writing, it's like a super informal draft way of writing about everything that you've done in your experiences. So it's like a rehearsal really for writing your actual personal statement. So once you've gathered all your experiences together, you're ready to start writing your personal statement. So just to orientate ourselves again in the framework, we've worked through the 3 sections of the choose part of the framework and through the 3 sections of the prepare part of the framework, and now we're on to the write part of the framework, finally. Okay, so the first step of the write framework, you're still not actually writing, but you're planning the structure of your personal statement. And the reason that you do this is because if you plan a piece of writing really thoroughly, the writing will almost write itself. In this step, you're also choosing which things to keep in and leave out. So from the gather your experiences section, you'll do a bit of sifting and filtering basically as to what you want to have in the personal statement and which things you would rather not be in there or there just isn't space for. And the other really important thing about planning is that it cuts down the time you will need to spend editing your personal statement. Because if you've got a really tight, coherent structure and you're also writing to the character limit of your personal statement, there won't be reams of writing to cut out. It'll be really on point the first time you write a draft, and there'll be very little further work for you to do once that's on the computer screen or on a piece of paper. So please, please, please don't skip this step. It's the foundation of good writing. Now, finally, we are actually going to start writing your draft. So in your draft, these are 3 key things that you need to have. There are many more points to be made about writing your draft, which if you're interested, you can find out more about in my personal statement masterclass. But these are 3 really key points. So firstly, you need to have a compelling opening sentence that gives the admissions tutor a real insight into your passion and reason for wanting to study their subject. Don't just list everything that you've done in the prepare section. So it's really boring to read a list. So instead of listing everything, you need to say something interesting about everything you've done, all your further reading and all that kind of thing. And this will also help to show your intellectual potential to the admissions tutors reading your personal statement. And then finally, you need to finish the personal statement with a closing paragraph that states why you're a perfect fit for the course in between 1 to 3 sentences. Okay, so you can get step-by-step guidance for each paragraph in my personal statement masterclass, from an exercise running through how to come up with a truly compelling opening sentence, to how to do that closing paragraph, and really detailed guidance on how to say something interesting about all the different things that you've done and make it really come across in a way that appeals to the admissions tutor. So the final step, once you've got that first draft based on the structure and plan that you came up with, is to edit your personal statement to perfection. So 3 really important tips for this are to make sure it sounds like you. So you don't want to sound like you've swallowed a thesaurus using words that you wouldn't be comfortable using in conversation with the lecturers that you'd like to be taught by, or by your existing teachers at school. You also should get someone else to check the spelling and grammar of your personal statement, because when you've written something yourself and read it through several times, you no longer see the detail, and so even if you're a real whiz with spelling and grammar, it's highly likely that you'll miss something. So make sure that you get at least one other set of eyes who is from a person who is really good with spelling and grammar, to make sure all that is top dollar. And then if you're over the character limit, instead of trying to just chop words here and there, the best thing to do is to rewrite sections. And the way I suggest you do this is by really thinking about the essence of what you're trying to communicate in that section of the personal statement and build it from there, rather than trying to hang on to every single word that you wrote originally as if all those words were sacred. Okay, so once your personal statement is edited, you're done. You can submit your university application. Amazing news. So if you found this video helpful, I'd like to tell you about my personal statement masterclass. So it's basically an online course which follows the framework that I've just talked you through in this video, but gives you really detailed guidance every step of the way. There's at least one detailed video for each of the 9 steps. Some of the steps, particularly the writing steps, there's lots of little videos to hold your hand through every step of the process. There's also a workbook which gives you advice, writing frames, checklists, and all kinds of things like that to make sure that the process of writing your personal statement is seamless and easy for you. And we also have monthly Q&A sessions to help you with the things you're struggling with. So I've tried and tested the material in the personal statement masterclass over 5 years now, so I really stand by it. But sometimes people still have questions about their individual situation, so you're more than welcome to come along to that monthly Q&A session to get advice and help. So these are some of the reviews I've had from people who've worked with me on their personal statements in the past. So a parent of a Year 12 student said, "The personal statement masterclass is brilliant. My son is ploughing through it now, having been told to come up with a draft personal statement by mid-June with no input from school. He likes the interaction with the videos and then completing the sections. It really focuses your mind and breaks it down into manageable stages. The outline of what to include in each paragraph and how to vary the openers is ideal too." And then a successful Cambridge applicant said, "All of the resources inside the personal statement masterclass are invaluable. I would recommend their use as they provide an excellent structure. Following the masterclass ensured that the process of writing my personal statement was efficient and ultimately successful. The advice transformed my personal statement into one that allowed me to get an offer from Cambridge." So if you'd like to check out the details about the personal statement masterclass, please go to personalstatementmasterclass.com masterclass.co.uk. And if you've got more questions after reading that page with all the information before you sign up, you can send me an email, and the email address is at the bottom of the personal statement masterclass.co.uk webpage. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it incredibly useful. Goodbye.